we're going to grow, and we are in high growth mode, but it's so critical that we grow responsibly and do it the right way. Anybody that comes into our system is there to help elevate the level of professionalism, elevate the brand itself, the Woofie's brand, as we go national even more.
Hello, everyone, and thanks again for tuning in to the latest edition of Fran Coach's Franchising 101 podcast. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of Fran Coach and your podcast host. Today, we are going to welcome one of our franchise partners here to talk about their brand. This is a franchise that is mobile, so it has a lower initial investment and overhead. It has multiple revenue streams and ones that are never going to go out of style. Its customers are cute and furry, and people will always spend money on them. Excited to hear about this? So am I. But first, let's go back to who we are. Fran Coach is a national search firm dedicated to working with individuals like yourself who are interested in owning a franchise. We are partnered with well over 600 of the top franchisors in the country, spanning nearly 70 industries. Our goal is to help clients get properly educated on franchise ownership to determine if this is the right path for them. And then if so, we're going to help you find the absolute best franchise for you to own. All right, so that's us. Now let's get to our guest. Joining us today is Amy Addington, and Amy is the founder of our featured franchise today, which is called Woofie's. I am so excited to talk to you today, Amy. Thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
And for those of you that are actually visually tuning into this as well, if the name Woofie's wasn't clear enough, we've got some animals in the back there behind Amy. Definitely want to get into all about the brand, but I just always say franchising and what we do is about people. And so I like to get to know the people and their story, and yours is fantastic. So tell everybody a little bit about Amy and how you even kind of got into franchising, and really for you, franchising was Woofie. So give us the scoop.
Sure. I actually started back in 2004. It was my neighbor who lived right across the street from me, Leslie Barron, and I had come from the corporate side. She was in healthcare, and we both were at a spot where we were just done with corporate and healthcare respectively, just ready to move forward. Loved animals, always have. And really Woofie started as a need that we found in our local community. We had that shared passion for animals. And we were very particular. We both had some bad experiences when we tried to hire somebody to come in. And when you think about it, these are people you're giving access to your homes. They're caring for your pets who are your babies. So we knew that there was definitely a need for that type of service. And, this is 20 years ago. It's amazing to think we're at our 20-year anniversary this year. At the time, the pet industry, especially on the pet services side, was a lot more immature. You had a lot of people, very well-intentioned, well-passioned, but really didn't go into it as a true business. It was more of a hobby or kind of a side gig. And our goal from the very beginning was to have that highly localized feel in our community, provide exceptional customer service to our clients, going above and beyond the way we would want someone to do for our pets, to build our team and our culture that really represented the values that we had and the shared passion for the pets. That was just something that was so incredibly important to us. And also, I think at the higher level is elevating that level of professionalism in the pet industry. You can have that major passion for animals and you need to, but this is also a business, a lot of responsibility and liability. And we really wanted to elevate that level. So that was something that we strove to do from the very beginning. And that's something that drives us every day. Kind of how we got to the franchise piece is really interesting. We built up our business in Ashburn, Virginia, a small community. And over the years, we had people constantly reaching out, are you going to go to Reston, Tyson's Corner, looking at other areas in Northern Virginia. And I started exploring different growth models, and franchising stuck out to me from the very beginning. I actually went to my first IFE conference in New York in 2015, started talking with some different people that have been in the franchise industry for a long time. And I felt very strongly that this was the right growth model for us, because I wanted to build a system of Woofie's business owners. I wanted people that if we're going to open up a location in Reston or open up a location in Arizona or Florida or New York, I want that location run by a business owner who is truly invested in that business. So for us, franchising made sense.
Yeah. Um, but I'm guessing in 2004, when you first started this, franchising wasn't remotely in your mind as an option or a possibility, right?
Well, considering we started, our first day was one dog walk. Lucky and Cody were the dogs, and we were paid $10. I mean, I had quit a six-figure salary, and so that $5, I worked very hard for that, half of that $10 dog walk. But you know what? It was so rewarding and it was exciting. And we knew we were on to something pretty early on. I don't know if we imagined the scale of where it is today. But we just kind of kept very focused on what we were doing. You know, it's easy as a small business owner. You get nervous when there's competitors or you have people saying, oh, this will never work. You guys will never be able to make this go. You just stay true to what you're doing. And that's what we did. It was very simple, but we just kind of never wavered in what we were doing. But it's exciting to look at where we are today. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations for the 20 years and congratulations the fact that you started this when you were 8. That was pretty amazing also. So
that's the best part about it. I mean, I just started so young. So
yeah,
thank you.
good,
You're my favorite
good,
person, by the way.
yeah, good work. So tell us a little bit. So like Woofies, we got something animal related. Talk to us like, okay, the business itself,
Yep.
services you're providing, who are those customers? Kind of share that with us because there's a lot to Woofies.
There is. We're actually the first and only franchise system that combines pet sitting and dog walking with mobile grooming services. So when we started back in 2004, we started with pet sitting and dog walking. So on the dog walking side, we're targeting those customers who are at work every day and their pups need a walk while they're gone. On the pet sitting side, it's kind of more of a general term, but pet sitting can be somebody who's gone for a week, gone for one day, gone for a weekend. We can either do multiple visits per day at their house. We have a really popular service, bed and biscuit overnight care, where a dog could stay overnight at a sitter's home. It's a great alternative to kennels, where you don't want to have your dog sitting in a boarding facility overnight. They can stay with the family. So the bed and biscuit's really popular. And then we also have sitters that can do in-home overnight care. That's really great for clients who have multiple pets, maybe senior pets who have to get out more frequently, or puppies. So the in-home overnight care has become even more popular, especially I think after COVID. You know, so many dogs were adopted over COVID. They're used to having their owners at home with them all the time. So when our clients leave, they really want to make sure that their pets have that person home with them and getting all the care that they're used to. So
yeah, and the focus is dogs, right? But it's not just dogs, correct?
absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, don't let the name fool you. It is Woofies, but we have tons of cat clients. We take care of all animals. You name it, we take care of it. So
Okay, cool. So I think one thing when you just look at a business, and there's nothing wrong with whatever industry, but there are certain things that are very niche. We do one thing, we do only one thing, right? And what I think is kind of cool with Woofies is that there's probably 3 different lines of business that there are other, quote, competitors, franchise or not, that they only do that one thing. Whereas as a customer, hey, I need walking, I need sitting, the bed and biscuit. That was one I actually didn't even know. The grooming, and I know there's something kind of like coming a little bit possibly from a training standpoint too, potentially, right? And so you've got all of these different things. So as a business owner, you dominate that human and their animal for basically everything that they're going to need. So you really allows you to not just like a little side hustle or hobby business. This is full on. You guys aren't messing around growing big businesses with folks.
absolutely. And I think, you know, when you talk about those different lines of services, everything is predicated on that relationship with the customer. This is not a transactional business. This is not a just, you know, come on in, walk the dog, see you later. This is really building a relationship with our customers. And that's what allows us to provide those additional services. We have that trust with them. And we bring on team members that, take exceptional care of their pets. So that's what really allows us to offer those multiple lines of services, which for a franchise owner, several of our services are recurring service models. So having that recurring revenue stream is so important for these owners. As a good example, our grooming. And I know you have a Cavapoo, Henry. Henry's a dog that needs to get groomed on a regular basis, like so many, especially those doodles that seem to be everywhere, which is great. But we actually set up what's called a Woof Pack. So our grooming clients will be set up on a Woof Pack where we build out their schedule for the next 12 months. So it's great for the client because they always have a spot on a schedule. They can maintain that consistent schedule for their pet. But for the franchise owner, I mean, that's predictable revenue. They can model out what their projections are going to look like for the remainder of the year on that piece of business alone. So having that recurring revenue stream and then the multiple revenue streams has been really good for the owners.
Yeah. And and I think if people don't have pets, and this was me until almost a year ago when my wife decided she was getting Henry.
Smart woman.
There was no vote, by the way. It was,
of course, there never is.
I know I did not realize the importance of the pet in the family, right? And the pecking order, right? So for us, my wife has 2 children. She has me, her husband, and she has Henry. And if you were to ask her to rank them on any given day, it's Henry at the top, and me and the kids are battling for 7th and 8th place, right? There's a massive gap in between. There is, like, she would carve out a kidney for Henry. Maybe she does something for us. I really, really don't know. So being able to build that relationship as that trusted partner for all of those services for the dog, and just anybody listening in Tarpon Springs, Florida, if you become a Woofie's owner, I guarantee you 1 customer right off the bat. So because we deal a lot with this with my wife's travel, and she either works from home or is gone. I'm not there full time, so we use a non-Woofie's for the walking. We've tried a boarding place for the longer things. We've tried him staying there, like all those different things. And since the dogs can't actually speak, you're trying to guess what's truly best for them. Or then you got to take them somewhere to get groomed and all the stuff. To have that mobile component coming straight to you for whatever you need is amazing. Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to spotlight an exciting offer from our partners at Reshift Media. Reshift Media's Brand Amplifier is an award-winning digital marketing platform designed to fit the specific needs of franchise organizations. The dashboard allows national and local teams to quickly and easily manage social content and digital advertising across dozens, hundreds, even thousands of locations. The Brand Amplifier will use automation and machine learning to help franchise systems save time and dramatically improve their digital marketing performance. When a campaign is activated, the Brand Amplifier automatically geo-targets advertising to potential customers around each store and will insert local information such as city, neighborhood, or pricing, which will increase both relevance and performance. Launching a campaign takes less than 5 minutes. It's just that easy. And franchise companies that use the Brand Amplifier routinely see a 500% or more increase in digital performance. That's amazing, folks. Over 500% increase. And best of all, the Brand Amplifier team is currently offering a 50% off for a limited time. So be sure to visit brandamplifier.io to lock in that deal today and tell them Fran Coach sent you. Hey everyone, I wanted to take a quick break from our podcast to tell you about our amazing friends at Entrepreneur. If you're looking to become a franchisee or simply learn more about business ownership, and guys, let's be honest, you're listening to the Franchising 101 podcast, so we know you have some interest in this. And I really encourage you to go to entrepreneur.com to check out all of their great content and resources. Seriously, Entrepreneur has everything, all the way from a bookstore to the best podcasts, webinars, and videos, plus information on upcoming events and the latest articles that seriously, they cover all aspects of franchising and business ownership. If you're having trouble deciding which franchise is right for you, start with Entrepreneur's renowned Franchise 500 ranking, which highlights the best franchises of 2022. For 45 years and counting now, Entrepreneur has been and continues to be the most widely recognized and respected authority in the franchise market. Digital and print subscriptions are available, so you never miss out on anything. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Go to entrepreneur.com right now and learn more. Tell me a little bit about the owner for you guys. So this is one where, I think in a lot of industries, you own a painting franchise, you don't need to have a real passion about painting. You need to look at it from a business standpoint, but you kind of can't hate pets, right? With being a Woofie's owner. So you certainly have to have that passion for the pets and their family. But talk about some of the things that you look for and kind of some of the things that owners they're going to be doing on a daily basis.
Sure. I mean, 100% they need to have that passion, because that's what is going to drive you to bring on the right team members. And that's a big piece, is finding business people who know how to build, manage, and scale teams. Because these are the people that are the reflection of you, your company, and making sure they're representing your values and providing that standard of care that Woofie's is known for. So someone who's very skilled at building and managing teams, and not only retaining them, but also providing career path opportunities. I think that's something that's so incredibly important, especially in our pet space. The other part is that customer service, really understanding how to connect with that customer, how to provide that exceptional customer service, to go above and beyond, and not just talk it, but really live it and understand it, and make sure your team members embody that. The other piece, obviously from a logistical standpoint, I mean, you've got to have somebody that really can manage that schedule and maximize the time of your groomers, maximize the time of your sitters, and really building that in a way that you can scale the business. And, starting off with one van, but building it up to a fleet of 5, 8, 10 vans in your community. I would say another piece that we look at that's really important is somebody who understands the value of business development and networking and being ingrained in your local community, especially on the pet sitting side. So much of this is referral based. Again, you're giving people access to your home. They're taking care of your family member, your pet. They really need that trust, and having that referral from other people in your community goes such a long way into building and sustaining your business long term. Being part of the community is so critical, but also giving back is a big piece of the Woofie's culture. We will take the grooming van and suspend the operations for the day and go to a local animal shelter and do free baths and grooms for the shelter dogs. We do tons of events. We're always out and about. We're highly visible in the community. So I think somebody that understands that, and maybe not every business owner has that very outgoing personality where that comes natural for them, but you need somebody on your team that can do that. That's okay if it's not you. You can't be jack of all trades, but right. You need to make sure that you've got somebody that really understands that value. Being present in the community is so, so critical to the success of the company.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, but the other side, you're not really looking for an owner that's going to be spending all day walking dogs and grooming dogs either, right?
It's hard to run a business if you're doing that.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, none of our owners, and myself included, we're not groomers. I've learned enough to understand the business, obviously, and to understand what our groomers and bathers go through, and what's important for them, and how important their job is. So you have to have that understanding. But by no means are we looking for franchise owners who are groomers or out walking dogs all day, because you really can scale this business pretty significantly. And, you could be looking at managing a large team of people and, right. Integrating more services as, time goes by. There's a lot to do from the business standpoint. So you really need to build your team of those sitters and groomers that can do the boots on the ground work for you.
Right. Are you open to an owner being semi-absentee?
We have a couple of owners that are in that position. And we are open to it. Obviously, I think the owner operator, just the full on owner getting in there is the ideal, but we've got some great semi absentee owners. The key is hiring a very strong GM who's going to
Right.
do the day-to-day operations, give them potentially some equity opportunities, so they have that investment. That's critical. So absolutely it can work.
Yeah. And I appreciate you bringing that up because I think there are some brands out there every now and then that try to pretend like, oh, you can be semi-absentee and run the business full time. You can't, right? There's got to
Yeah,
be somebody boots on the ground doing those things, right? So then our staff is really kind of a mix, right? So we've got the groomers. There's a skill and kind of a training that they are coming in with typically,
yep,
right?
yep.
But walkers and sitters, like we probably could all be a dog walker, right? So you've got kind of two different sides of this. So talk a little bit about how Woofies is going to help owners kind of find, manage, and understand what that really good staff person is going to look like.
Yeah, and that's always, I think, top of mind of any new owner when they decide to come on board with Woofies is how do I find those groomers and those pet sitters and dog walkers? One thing that Woofies does, and this is part of, once we became part of Authority Brands, we actually added a talent team. We have two members of the talent team that are part of our operations team, and they do recruiting. So they actually will start working with our franchise owners as they're onboarding and going through pre-training. They'll start working with them to start sourcing and looking for those groomers and those pet sitters. They only do the first line. They'll do the sourcing, they'll do the initial interview to screen, but that takes a big lift off those new owners. And then they'll send those candidates over to the owners and then they take it from there. So I think that's really critical, to be able to offer that to our franchise owners. And it's been received really well because that is the biggest piece. You'll have the business coming in, the leads coming in. If you don't have the groomers, the bathers, the pet sitters, dog walkers, it's going to be very challenging. So that's something
Yeah.
we addressed very early on.
Do you have a really wide range? I'm sure the groomers are profiles pretty similar, but the walkers and sitters, is that a really wide range of what that person looks like?
Absolutely. We have from college kids who, work in the summer or on their Christmas break, spring break, who come back into town, all the way up to the retirees. I think in Ashburn, one of our top sitters is a retiree, and she's amazing. And she does bed and biscuit, and she can only do one little dog at a time. We have clients that literally would book her a year in advance. Like she is booked up constantly because she's home all the time, and it's so rewarding for her. She has a little buddy with her all the time, and the clients absolutely love that. So, we've seen people that have corporate jobs and they love animals, want to make some extra income on the weekends or just do it out of pure love for animals. We have sitters that are cat sitters only. They just specialize in cats, or we have sitters who like our reptiles and all those fun. Probably not my speed, but that's okay. They still need love too. So yeah, it's a wide range. You'll see a wide range for pet sitters and dog walkers.
Well, and it just if nothing else, the dog walkers, you're going to get your steps in, right? So the my wife and I got these Aura rings last fall that tracks basically like it's creepy how much stuff it tracks, but it's always funny for me to look at like my steps the weeks I'm in Florida because we're out meandering around the community walking Henry, and then I come back to Arizona and I just sit on my ass and I don't do anything. So the one thing and I've heard some people say, and not just for like a Woofies of this industry, but how do you keep that walker, the sitter, the groomer from just going, the heck with Woofies, man, just send them straight to me, right? Like I always feel like people's
I
mind
love
goes
when
to
people ask that.
the negative because I'm like, and when people say that, I'm like, ask that question, they're gonna start chuckling, which you just did, right?
Mhm.
So walk us through why that made you chuckle.
I know I do get asked that quite a bit, and I always love to answer it. So, you know, I always tell people when we're hiring them, let's talk pet sitters and dog walkers. I tell them, look, I will do the marketing to get customers. We'll do all the communications. We have a back office team that will handle that. If you're sick or on vacation and we need to bring in a backup walker, we'll handle all of that with the client. That's our job to do. It's that we'll do the invoicing, we'll collect the money, we'll do everything that needs to be done. What I need you to do is be there when you need to be there and provide exceptional care to the pets. We will handle everything else. And we take that same approach with the groomers as well. There are sometimes you might have someone that thinks, oh, I can go do it myself. There's a lot more on the business side behind it than people realize. And I always give the example of, a customer has an emergency at, Friday at 8 o'clock. They're calling our back office. They're not calling you. Or if you have an issue and you need to get help at a client's house or something happened that you just need assistance with, we have that back office team. When you're out on your own, you're on your own. We have the technology. We have a great CRM system that has GPS tracking, and we have online journals that we can send to our clients after each visit. There's so many things that we can offer to the clients, but also that we offer to the employee coming on board. So they realize, you know what, at the end of the day, if I'm with Woofie's, I just need to provide exceptional care, and that's it. They handle everything else. And so that tends to go over very well. And it also tends to prevent them from going out and doing their own thing.
Yep. And I think for the potential owner that's coming in that hears that, you're like, oh, okay, so I just take care of my people and they're happy. Like it really is kind of that simple. And I think the client side is, there's every business, there's competition, right? Whether it's a franchise or not, right? There's I think a fairly well-known app that can kind of do the walking stuff, right? That again, Tarpon Springs, folks, wide open for Woofie's. Got a customer for you already. But because this happened to us a few months ago, the girl that was supposed to come over got into an accident, and I almost want to say accident with air quotes because you don't not to be cynical, but did she not, whatever. If that's for us going through the app, then all of a sudden my wife had to oh crap, now I got to find somebody else. There wasn't anybody else available. What friend do I know that can come over? Right. You're right. And you're traveling, you don't have time for this, versus if that's Woofie's, that walker would have contacted the Woofie's owner or the app and something, it would have been seamless. There would have been somebody that would have shown up. We wouldn't have ever known the difference. And that incredibly high level of customer service is what's going to keep those customers super happy, because that was, remember that distinctly. That was stressful, of all the people that were being texted and called. Who can go let the dang dog out while we are wherever the heck we were, right? So
and you're scrambling. I mean, that really should be our responsibility to handle that. It should be seamless to you. And I think taking that a step further too, I think having a team of pet sitters and groomers, one thing that's really important to us also is matching the right sitter with the right client. I'm not going to put my retiree with a 120-pound mastiff. So or also the fact, what's really that I love about the Woofie's on the pet sitting side is we do in-home consults for all new customers. So we physically go there, we meet the clients, we meet the pets, we go over the routine in detail. We mark if the dog is going to be a flight risk. We mark if there's issues with medication, because we want our sitters armed with all the information. We want to make sure we match the right sitter with the right client, but we want to make sure that they don't have any surprises when you open up the door and go take care of the pet. So those in-home consults is another way I think that separates us from the app-based only companies. And I just think it's a big differentiator for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And so from a business model standpoint, we don't need, this is non-retail. We've got the van that's going on for the grooming. So territory based, so people can low investment, low overhead, quick ramp up, easy to scale. So we can start with a single territory, but you guys are open to people doing multiple territories and really building very big businesses as well, correct?
Absolutely. We have a lot of our franchise owners that have multiple territories. It's you think about it, your biggest investment is your van. And I always tell our franchise owners, your van is the biggest investment, but it works the hardest for you. Your van is the vehicle to provide the grooming and bathing services, but it's also your moving billboard 7 days a week in your territory. You can go wherever you want. Anywhere you go, you can create an event. You can go to a dog park and do a pop-up event for nail trims and wash and go baths and ear cleaning and all of toothbrushing. You can go to partner with a restaurant, brewery, winery, and do yappy hours. You can go to a farmer's market, bring your van there and provide basic services. So you create an event wherever you go. You're not like in a brick and mortar, you're waiting and counting on people to come to you. With
Right.
that grooming van, you're out. You can go wherever you choose to. So we spend a lot of time with our owners talking about grassroots marketing and local events and just getting out, being seen in a community. And that van, you cannot miss it. It's awesome. And I don't know if you know this, so I'm feeling like maybe you need a Woofie like yourself, because you could have Henry on one of the vans. We have each of our vans, you can customize the dog that's on your van. So we have several of our owners that put the picture of their own dog on their first van, which is pretty cool.
Nice. So, yeah, you're talking to the wrong member of the family on owning
I
owning
need
a
to talk to your
franchise.
wife. Yes.
Yeah. And there's not a chance that she listens to the podcast, so she won't even know we're having this conversation. So, it's like I got to talk to you enough. I don't need to listen to the podcast, but um, I happen to know a Fran Coach client that probably by the time this airs will already be officially a Woofie's franchise owner. I'm gonna see if I can get him to get Henry's picture on the van. So don't
I think you
think.
should lobby for that.
Do you know the brownie points I will get with Danielle if I get the dog on there? So okay.
Yeah.
Note this. Happy Valentine's Day, honey. I got Henry on a
I got you a
van
van.
3,000 miles away. So um I I am just so like excited about where you guys are with Woofies and the growth and just from our experience with everybody in the team has just been you got a top-notch group there.
Thank
So
you.
I'm super excited.
I feel
Um
very grateful. We have a great team. I'm so proud to work with them. So very
And
lucky.
yeah, no, and the it was somebody else I know in this industry that's had a couple of their clients go through, and they just like I will like there is a buzz in the small little world that we swim in of like what's going on, right? This is a brand that is primed for growth, and I love
Oh,
the fact that you actually and this should be the case for everything, but it's or every franchise, but it's not. You guys actually give a damn about your people and your owners, and there
dude.
to really support them and help them succeed. So kudos to
They
you
are
for that.
family. They are family, and that is something we take to heart. And actually, just a little fun fact: my husband and I just bought Woofie's of Delray Beach, the franchise. So I'm right in the mix there. Obviously, I will have a GM because I have my job. And I have an amazing GM that I just hired who's going to be running it. But it's been an amazing experience to go through the onboarding and everything from the perspective of the franchise owner and just really knowing day to day everything that they're going through. I started my business 20 years ago, but now, we have authority brands and all the support and resources and expertise that they bring to the table to our brand. It's been a really exciting exercise. And I love being not even more so connected with our franchise owners. So
Very
I tell
cool.
them I'm right in the trenches along with you guys. So we're in it together.
Super cool. Have you thought of opening one in Tarpon Springs, Florida?
I will, you know what? I might have to, I think. So let me get
Perfect.
Delray started first, and then
Yeah,
I'll
that's
move up in Florida a
that's
little bit.
fair. My selfish needs are I'll put them aside. So I greatly appreciate your time. I'll kind of fire one last little thing at you here and then we'll let you go. But anything else that you would really want to share about Woofies that we haven't already talked about today?
No, I think I would say, people ask like, what's the most important part of your job and the important part of Woofie's? Something that was really important to us as an emerging brand. We have an opportunity to create a culture within our franchise owners. And that's something that starts with bringing on the right owners. we're going to grow, and we are in high growth mode, but it's so critical that we grow responsibly, and do it the right way. Anybody that comes into our system is there to help elevate the level of professionalism, elevate the brand itself, the Woofie's brand, as we go national even more. So I think that's something that our team takes a lot of pride in. It starts with our franchise development team members of working with the right candidates. And then, our existing franchisees are so amazing. They will set aside time to talk with the candidates and really talk to them about the Woofie's opportunity. And they're looking out for these new owners as they come on board. They work as mentors. And I just love that. I think it's special. I've never built another franchise brand before, so I can't say, I don't know, but I just think it's very special and unique about Woofie's. And I just think it's very much our culture. And that's something, I don't care if we're 100, 200 franchise owners one day, which would be amazing. I want that culture to stay the same. I think that's so important. And we owe that to our franchise owners. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I love it. I mean, it's kind of the passion and that family feel all around, because you are dealing with people's families, right?
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
Typically the most important member of the family is who you're really working with this. So,
Absolutely.
so Amy, thank you. So it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you and having you on to talk about Woofie's today. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. This is great. Thanks.
And thanks to all of our loyal podcast listeners, as always, who tune into the Franchising 101 podcast. We hope it continues to provide insight into the amazing possibilities that can be achieved as a franchise owner. Reach out to us anytime online when you are ready to chat. We are here to help you. francoach.net, franchising101podcast.net. Again, everything with us is always .net. You're going to talk to me, nobody else, when you come to us. So don't fall for those imitators, folks. So reach out to us today. Again, there's never any fee for our service. So let us help you create your better tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk with you next week.